Now, there's nothing to worry about. This is a happy occasion. Arbor Day, plant a tree. Watch it grow from a sprout to something that provides life to others. Sound like any pony you know? A timid little seedling who has shown remarkable growth over the past few seasons? A pony who not only faces challenges from the outside world, but struggles to overcome her own hesitations? Come on, this day was made for you. Fluttershy Day, the day of the Fluttershy, a day in which we celebrate all that is Fluttershy. I'm running out of ways to say it. Point is, you're going to be surrounded by those who want to cheer for you. And I know crowds aren't your thing, but imagine how sad everyone will be if you're not there. Just look at how sad Angel would feel. And your friend, Fuzzy Legs. Well, that's going to haunt my nightmares. But even Harry wants you to go. And let's not forget your newest friend, Humphrey the Hydra. It was a considerable effort to get a Hydra to make that face 4 times. But honestly, you don't have to do it for them, or me, or even the audience. Do this for yourself. Do it because you shouldn't look back on this day with regret. Whatever happens, it won't be as bad as nothing happening.
I'm game.
Awesomeness. That's the determination that makes you my fave. And I've already arranged for the proper escort.
Make way! Make way for the gentlest of ponies!
No!
There tend to be some pretty extreme opinions on Fluttershy. To some, she is the most wonderful of ponies. Kind, gentle, and above all else, adorable. You cannot handle such cuteness. And then there are the fans who just don't get why Fluttershy receives so much attention. The thought often expressed is that she's far too much a wimp or not very interesting. The third viewpoint, a general sense of meh, tends to get drowned out by the more extreme views. I'm here to represent the first party, for Fluttershy is my favorite pony. Not because of her multiple victories against giant monsters. Not because of comedic moments based on her timidity. Not even because of this expression, though that doesn't hurt. No, I am a Fluttershy fan because she is the group's one and only introvert. Introverts are people who become energized by going within. They have an array of thoughts and feelings that are enhanced by privacy and reflection. This can include spending time with animals, which don't normally have the same social demands as other people. Social situations require much greater attention. The barrage of sound, visuals, and trying to keep tabs on larger groups becomes a drain. And Fluttershy is an exaggeration of this feeling. Much of her timidity is played up for comedic effect, but there are a lot of real-world elements in play. Her weekly spa visits with Rarity and tea with Discord create a structure within a small party. Her gatherings with animals are based more on emotion than complex discussions, even the book clubs. She's not always aware of her surroundings and has had trouble asserting herself when needed. It's a mark of introverts that they experience much more intense emotions than others might expect, and sadly that often leads to people dismissing a person's struggle as being too sensitive. But look at the advances she's made over the past several seasons. She's gone outside her comfort zone to both study the Breezies, organized a town festival to view their migration, and made a new friend from the process. This is another mark of introversion. While small talk is a demand, the chance to express a passion motivates an introvert to step outside their shells.
Oh, I've never seen a baby dragon before.
And she's grown more comfortable with her friends. She's become more confident in expressing her own feelings and getting them to settle down.
Girls, stop!
For many people who struggle with social situations and expressing themselves, Fluttershy can be an example. She will always have a hesitation about larger groups, but as she practices and takes steps outside her comfort zone, she becomes better adapted. Sadly, this struggle can be misrepresented, especially when writers view her as having only 2 settings: Mega Wimp or Psychopath.
You're going to love it!
As funny as that scene was, there are times where I think it did more harm to Fluttershy's character. When she slips into these rage-fueled outbursts, usually done for a joke, viewers stop seeing a character wrestling with internal conflict and instead view her as mentally unbalanced, which can in turn harm her appeal. No one wants to feel associated with a character who appears to handle life with only 2 extremes. The most egregious examples would be the Fluttershy Micro and her role in Magic Duel. In both cases, the stories play up Fluttershy's timidity and outbursts without middle ground. The end result is a pony who is ready to fly off the handle at any given moment, but also trades relatability for comedy. Flip side of that are episodes like Hurricane Fluttershy that go in-depth about her history and how bullying has affected her confidence. Yes, she goes through some pretty big extremes in this episode. Yet there's also a gradual change between stages: hesitation, self-awareness, depression, inspiration, triumph, disappointment, and ultimately determination. How many people cheered for her the moment she broke through that mental barrier? By presenting her as a more dynamic character, we share in her struggle and felt joy at her success. More than any other member of the main six, Fluttershy's triumphs carry a dual achievement. While each member faces their own internal turmoil, Fluttershy's struggles seem the most intimidating. So when she meets a challenge, she's not only won against the external conflict, she's overcome herself as well. That's not to say I don't get a laugh from some of her more extreme examples. Saddle Rager, for example. One of our 3 fan-favorite forms. Saddle Rager, Fluttertree, and of course, Flutterbat. Yes, I think we know which is the most popular. Changelings may be the shapeshifters of this world, but Fluttershy seems to stand out with an adaptive form. We've heard whisperings of Flutter Dragon, and there's also her breezy identity. How is it that Fluttershy seems to attract this many variations? I think it has something to do with her attitude towards the world. No creature in her eyes is too ugly or too strange. She will welcome and greet every creature while most ponies would run or battle. And while most would react with horror to a new form, Fluttershy just seems to roll with it. And the more she does, the more interesting it is to watch. Of course, there's her fear of dragons, which just seems like common sense. Granted, that fear led to turning Rainbow Dash's spine into a pulp. But honestly, Fluttershy, you should take a look at your win record. I mean, it's what? 4-time Monster Slayer? Taming the Manticore. Stern talking to a dragon. Out staring a cockatrice. Tummy rubbing the guardian of kinda hell into submission. Have you ever wondered that if Fluttershy weren't so timid, she'd be the most powerful being in all of Equestria? I have. Thing about these wins is that they're never for her own sake. Given the choice, Fluttershy would rather avoid conflict. What motivates her shining moments is a simple statement: love.
Do it for Equestria! Do it for Rainbow Dash! Do it for yourself!
Someone she cares about or respects is counting on her. In those moments, she leaves behind her usual self and becomes braver for the sake of others. And there's a lot to that. The view that we surpass our own limits when it's for someone else. After all, neither pride nor confidence helped Rainbow Dash slay that dragon. It was seeing her loved ones threatened that made Fluttershy stand up.
You do not hurt my friend! You got that.
I can only recall 2 mythical creatures that she hasn't affected. First would be the Hydra. And it may be my fanboyism talking, but I noticed it didn't attack until several other characters appeared. It seemed content to just let her be. The second is Gilda. Fluttershy never got payback, not that she'd want it, but it was seeing that sight that motivated Pinkie to stop questioning herself and commit to action. Fluttershy has an impact on the world that even she herself doesn't realize. Rather than dismiss her, many ponies try to push or pull her into action. They want to see her succeed. And so far I count at least 5 big wins. Not to be confused with slaying magical creatures. These are wins Fluttershy gains by overcoming her own hesitation. Earning the Crusaders' respect, politely asserting herself against a menacing Minotaur, making up the needed power for a water tornado, holding her will against her friend's peer pressure, and issuing the tough love needed to get one of her best friends to acknowledge her own feelings. There have been other moments, many of them baby steps, but each one seems to build her up more. It's a step towards triumph, even if we might lose sight in the moment. Fluttershy can be a hard character to understand because out of all the main 6, her path is the least defined. She doesn't yet have a lifelong ambition. She doesn't seek a title, and of all things, I can't even name her steady job. She seems to be building up the courage and confidence to look for a bigger dream, to reach beyond her safe cottage. I have no idea what goal the show might set for her down the line, but I get the impression she's working towards it without realizing. And I for one look forward to seeing Fluttershy build herself up more. Now, I considered getting everyone together for a shared yay, but sometimes I think it's good for others to be loud on your behalf. So let's hear it for Fluttershy, everyone!
Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
I'm Silver-Quill. Thanks for watching.